All right. Good morning, everybody. It has been a very hot minute since we've been together. And so I appreciate the few of y'all that are here and able to hop on. I appreciate y'all. I am optimistic that we can end the year strong with this month and next month's meeting. So without,
Jonas,
yes, Whitney,
I can't hear you.
you can't hear
I
me.
don't know if it's on my end or not, but can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay.
Rachel, Sharon,
Let me see
Brenda,
if I
can you
can
hear
get
me?
tech over here to see what's going on. Hold on just a second.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Sharon. Um, while she's doing that, I won't go over anything
Oh, I
uh,
got it. Thank you. Sorry.
over substance until she gets back, but I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order at least anyway at 10:03 a.m. And then let's see, we got the attendance. I can see all. Is anybody sharing a screen or is everybody on their own camera? Okay. Just double check and make sure I got everybody. Okay, so since this was our first one in a long time, um, I thought it might be important for whoever's on here or whoever's going to be watching the recording to go briefly over the structure of the regional collaborative. I know most of y'all already know this, but this is for the benefit of who's ever watching the recording. But the Governor's Office of Early Childhood provides funding for these regional collaboratives across the state, and they each represent a county or a group of counties. And the goal is to advance the mission of early childhood within the state of Kentucky. So our particular collaborative that we're meeting about now, and this one is for Harrison, Nicholas, Bourbon, and Scott County. So those four counties. So anything that has to do with early education in those four counties, this collaborative is well within its permissions to be involved if they so invite us. We are able to help just about in any way we can to advance early childhood in those four counties. And so the way that it works structure wise is you have a chair, which y'all have elected me as chair for the 2-year grant cycle. And as a note to the future, next few months, we'll have to talk about elections again because if they offer this funding again, which I haven't heard that they're not, but with everything up going on, who knows? Anything can happen. But if they offer this funding again, we'll need to talk about chair, vice chair, treasurer, et cetera, et cetera. Um, and that would likely be for another 2-year term, but we're not there yet. We can figure that out later. The way that the governor's office does it for the funding, Community Action Council is acting as the fiscal agent. Just means that they're holding the money and then we can spend the money out from their account that has the money. So the governor's office gives us half of our funding to get us through July through December, and then they give us the other funding for this year starting January to June. And so altogether, over 2 years, this collaborative has been awarded $260,000. And so that's a substantial amount. We're very grateful for it. But they divide that in half over the 2 years, and then they divide that in half for June to December, January to June. And so we have about a month and a few weeks to spend out the remaining of the money that we have, which actually I can share my agenda because that would be important for everybody to see. And this has, there we go. All right, so this is the agenda. Um, the CAC is currently, we're going through a fiscal audit or we're wrapping it up. And so I don't have an exact number of what money we have left to be spent out before the end of December. However, I would say that we're not worried about running out. I think we probably have a solid amount that we can still spend. So whether you are in a child care center or you are working with child care centers or however you're involved, anybody who is in our 4-county service area is more than welcome to reach out and connect and see if we are able to help potentially fund stuff. We've helped professional development, sending staff on trips and paying for registration. We've gotten classroom supplies. We've gotten break, like teacher staff break supplies and materials and equipment to kind of help retain staff and boost their morale. Um, and really, nobody has told me any different. And in our contract that we signed, there's no um, non-allowable cost other than food. We can't buy food, and we can't pay ourselves for being on the collaborative. So other than that, I mean, as long as it benefits early childhood, I've been approving those types of requests that have been coming through. Um, you will see here that we have an email address, send requests to mazelanes@gmail.com. If y'all remember earlier this year, we voted for a project coordinator because obviously I was not doing my best job keeping everything organized and on task. So Maze has been helping out, and he's going to start organizing things and taking care of requests and outreach and stuff like that for us. So if you have a request for him, send it to this email right here, mazelanes@gmail.com, and he's going to send me a summary of stuff each week. And of course, y'all are always more than welcome to CC me on it or reach out to me directly still. But Maze is going to be responsible for kind of summarizing stuff and let me know what is needed throughout our counties that we're serving. So that's one big change. Some of the new business that we need to talk about and think about is we need to think about our support for the Dolly Parton Library. We obviously support it, and we have given quite a bit of money to the Imagination Library over the past few years. One county in particular, Scott County, has really been struggling to keep their program afloat. I don't think it's wrong of me to share that they were at risk of shutting down the program in the county a few months ago. And so this collaborative was able to help kind of supplement to the end of the year to hopefully get some more stable funding base for that county in their Imagination Library. However, it's still a lot of money. So something that we need to start thinking about, and we don't need to take a vote on it or anything today, but we're more than welcome to discuss if you want, is how do we want to think about how much we give and how we give to the 4 different Imagination Library programs. Do we want to cap it? Do we don't want to cap it? Do we want to have scheduled giving? So that's just some things that we need to start thinking about. And so in January, when we get our next round of funding, we'll have that conversation. We can maybe take a vote on it and see how we want to do that. I've already talked about Maze being our project coordinator, kind of helping out with efficiency and organization. So if you, like I said, his email's on there. Feel free to reach out to him, email him, and he's going to do. I have every confidence that he's going to do a great job helping get us back on track. And then on this agenda as well, when I will send this out, I will point out and hyperlink that we have a revamped YouTube channel where all these recordings are being posted. So if you go to it today, it won't have all the ones from the past. It has a few of the highlights. But moving forward, every recording of our meeting will be posted onto this YouTube channel, just for public reference if they want to watch a recorded meeting. And then we have a new email as well, because all the emails were coming to me and we all saw how that was working out. So this new email is going to be one that Maze is going to help me monitor. And it's going to be the main email for this collaborative, which is ecregionalcollaborative@gmail.com. Last couple announcements before I quit talking and open up the floor. For those of you who don't know, the Kentucky Department of Water is doing a free lead detection program. So if you are in a child care building before, I think it's 2014, or excuse me, if it was built before 2014, the Department of Water will come out and do free lead testing on the water in the center. I know with Community Action, our Head Start classrooms, we've had them come out to almost all of them at this point. And they're friendly. They give you some good detailed reports. And if they find an issue, they've been giving us suggestions on how to fix it. And again, it's free for childcare. You have to go on and apply to it. But as last I heard, it's still free and they're still taking appointments and schedules. So I've hyperlinked their website onto this agenda as well. And if you're interested in it for any of the childcare facilities for installing water conditioners or purification systems or lead remediation things, there are potential funds for helping supplement that. Just depending on how many requests we get, how expensive it is. I think that there's some pot of money for us to be able to kind of help with that if need be. And then I just wanted to put a reminder, if you go to the Governor's Office of Early Childhood, they have all this sort of information, but they have workforce apprenticeships to kind of help out with the employment problem that so many of us are facing. So if you are needing help with that, this is a hyperlinked website for you as well. And you can click on that and they'll be happy to connect you and whatnot. So our next meeting is in December on the 8th at same time, second Monday of every month. And that's going to be at 10 a.m. as well. So without me going on and rambling much more, I know I threw a lot at everybody and I apologize. I'll go ahead and open up the floor for any conversation, discussion, questions, things that we should talk about as a group.
Jonas, who's helping Scott County with their Dolly Parton Imagination Library?
Last I heard, was that you, Whitney, that was asking?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whitney, last I heard, Whitney, I was talking with Libby Suttles, because she's kind of like the state person for it. And she has been working with the school. I think the schools were handling it, and then the schools weren't able to do it. And the library, like the public library, wasn't willing or wasn't able to do it either. And so last I heard, Libby was going around in the county, kind of drumming up support and seeing who would be interested in taking that role on. So at this point, to answer your question, I don't know if anybody is, honestly. I think the school technically is on paper, but I don't think they're able to contribute any money to it.
I'll share real quick. I'm Sharon Norris from Child Care Aware. For those of you that I don't know, I'm the regional training coach. So if you know of anyone who's interested in getting a training credential to be able to train early care and education staff, we have our next round of fundamentals of effective training starts in January, and the required group training is live virtual. So particularly given winter and travel, that could be a good thing. So if you know of anyone, Jonas, I'm sending the link to you, but I think the overall chat is disabled. But if you know of anyone who's interested, please just refer them to me.
Ms. Sharon, do you know the dates for that FET?
Let me look. Yes. The course dates are January 12th, 2026 through February 27th, 2026. And most of the course is self-paced on-demand learning. There are 2 mandatory Zoom virtual training sessions that are in the morning on February 10th and February 13th.
Yeah, thanks, Sharon. I didn't realize I had the chat disabled. I'm sorry, but yeah, if you want to send the link to me, I will be happy to include it when I send everything else out after this meeting. Yeah. Anybody else have anything that we want to talk about or discuss? Okay. I said this was more of an informational meeting. I anticipate next meeting in December will be similar. Although depending on how much money is left to be spent out, we might take some votes on how we want to spend out that remaining money so that we don't have to give it back or have that deducted from future awards. So I will, once we adjourn, I will finish up the minutes. I'll send it out, attach everything. And if y'all have any questions, remember you're free to reach out to me, but we also have Maze and we have this new regional collaborative email that you're also can reach out to. All right, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Ms. Whitney. Anybody want to second it?
I'll second.
Thank you, Rachel. All right, everybody. As I said, if you need anything in the meantime, just let me know. Y'all have my contact information. I appreciate each of y'all. And if I don't talk to you before then, I'll see you in December.
Thank you.
Thank you.